get started. Okay, thank you, Terry. So good morning once again. I am Kate Brock from the Community Education Center. We create programs that help students explore careers. And today's session is to provide you an opportunity to gain some more insight on different jobs and wages in the region, and hopefully help assist you in making career decisions in the future. So at this time, I'd like to welcome Terry Hinton as our guest speaker. She is the Business Engagement Coordinator for Workforce Solutions for North Central PA. And every day she works with job information, wage information. She works with all different types of industry sectors, different types of employers, from healthcare to manufacturing and well beyond. So welcome, Terry. I'm going to let you go ahead and get started.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's good to be here today to talk with you all. Amy asked me to talk with you about a little bit about labor market trends, and that sounds kind of dry, but you all are in a position right now where you're going to be making some big decisions about what you're going to do when you graduate. Probably many of you have already decided that. By a show of hands, how many of you know what you're going to do after graduation? Okay, that's awesome. Well, even if you haven't, hopefully this session will tell you a little bit about some things that perhaps you didn't already know about jobs in our area as well as across the state. So I'm going to share a screen with you that is a PowerPoint presentation. I promise you it's not terribly long. And it will, we'll talk a little bit about wages and things that maybe you didn't know about work in this area right here. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And if this is to work successfully, wave your hands if you can see my screen. Good. All right. So you all have to make some decisions right now about what you're going to do if you haven't already made those decisions. So what we're going to talk about in this particular presentation is jobs that are relevant. While you might have made a decision about a specific major for college or about an employer that you're going to go right into work after you graduate, it's important that you have a sense of what's down the road. What is the prediction for this particular area of work? What are some salaries that you can expect is the other topic that we're going to talk about. And my personal favorite is myths, some myths about working in this area that are commonly misunderstood. So we're going to talk about those three things. First, I just want to congratulate all of you on where you're at currently in your life as a soon-to-be graduate. Opportunities are ever plentiful. You know, you think that maybe coming out of COVID, it could be a little frightening, but I will say that there is a lot of work to be had and work that can pay really good salaries. You just have to know where to go and how to find the right resources. The timing is right. It's good right now for those of you who are graduating, because people need workers. Employers need workers from everybody, from entry-level jobs to professional positions in healthcare, as an example. The challenge for all of you is that making decisions can be difficult. It's anxiety producing. In my day when I went to school, it was easy. It was like I had two choices. I go to be a nurse or I go to be a counselor, and I had two colleges to choose from. You have a lot more choices. So that said, it also can be a little bit anxiety producing. Would you all agree? Head nods sometimes? Okay. I constructed this list for you to know, and even if your chosen major or career choice is not listed, don't panic. I just wanted to give you an idea of some of the jobs that are currently relevant and plentiful. not only in the north central workforce part of Pennsylvania, which is what I work for. That includes Elk, Cameron, McKean, Potter, Jefferson, and Clearfield counties. But the jobs on this slide represent jobs that are plentiful everywhere in our state and also in our nation as a whole. You probably can't turn on the news without knowing we need nurses, we need healthcare. How many of you already know that healthcare has a shortage? Raise your hands if you know this. Absolutely. Is anybody here interested in working in healthcare? You can also tell me in the chat if you want to put some notes in the chat while we go along. Kate can help answer some of the questions and facilitate chat messages if I can't get to them quickly. But these are jobs other than healthcare, general managers. People are reluctant to manage these days because it's hard being a manager. You have to understand lots of different people's personalities, what makes them tick. And it's a lot more difficult than it used to be a really good manager. You have to know how to invest in your workers. So even, despite the fact that it sounds attractive, it is a very needed occupation. Nursing, LPNs, and RNs is a shortage across our entire nation. Counselors, substance abuse and behavioral disorder counselors, and mental health specialists are especially important for the next decade or longer. Human resource specialists and accountants, plumbers and HVAC, there's a large percentage of retired people that are leaving the trades that we have a gap in filling the work for. And that plumbers is one of those, and you can make a lot of money. Truck drivers is another one. That's one of the first top jobs in the north central area. And the average salary is like $75,000 a year. That's awesome. That's really an amazing salary. Engineers and engineering technicians, construction and building, especially laborers. We are in a place now where we have a shortage of construction laborers. Computer and IT is probably no surprise to many of you. We need computer and IT specialists constantly keeping up with the demands of technology. And in this area in particular, McKean, Elk, and Cameron is advanced manufacturing. And we can also include Jefferson, Clearfield, and Potter counties in that mix as well. So these represent jobs that are relevant and plentiful for all of you, whether you live in this area, in the 6 counties that I've discussed, or whether you're going to live elsewhere in the state. If you go ahead and put in the chat, how many of you, your occupation that you are thinking about is on this list? So say yes or no. And then if it's not on this list, please say what it is. Either way, if you would put that in the chat for me. And Kate, maybe you can share what they're telling us. I don't have access to the chat in this mode.
I don't see any accountant.
Good, awesome. Still thinking about what you're going to do, you can write that as well or put a big fat question mark.
Broadcaster.
That is a unique specialty.
Anyone else want to share?
That's okay. We have more opportunities. What? Did I miss something?
Nope.
Okay, perfect.
There is another kid in the room still. He's gonna log back in. I think he was confused and I told the track team they could go ahead and go.
Okay, thank you.
They'll just be watching.
Oh, okay. So do I need to invite someone into the program here?
Oh yeah, there might be someone in the waiting room.
I don't think there is, but I can't really see from here. Ms. Kopp, is everyone that you're expecting on this, in this meeting here?
No, Logan Irwin is missing right now. He is trying to log back in as we speak.
Okay,
Mary, if you click at the bottom, on the bottom bar, there's a button for participants.
let's see what I can work out here. I, okay, here he is, he's in. All right, is everybody still good with me here? Here he
Yep.
comes,
Great. Thanks, Terry.
sure. Okay, we're gonna keep going here. Hopefully I can. One of the things that our office does at Workforce Solutions is we are responsible for making sure that employers and students like yourselves are aware of salaries and educational requirements for those salaries. And we have people like Amy in our business education partnership who do a lot of programs with you all in the schools to help explain some of the information that we gather from our experts, data analytics, real-time information on requirements for different jobs and levels of education specifically. When I was doing my research for this presentation, one of the things that struck me was that there is very little difference between the salaries for 2-year degrees and 4-year degrees that were current and up to date, like in real time. In fact, I looked at a job listing for over 150 job ads for our North Central area in those 6 counties that I referred to for April 29. So that's last week. And the median wages were $33,000. By comparison, for 4-year degrees, for a total number of jobs, about 250 were posted in North Central PA, and the median wages were $35,000. So while that is a little bit of a difference, it's not significant, and college is super expensive. So my point here is that if you are trying to decide what's your return on investment between a 2-year degree or a 4-year degree, you can always look at getting the 2-year, working for a while, and then continuing your education at a later time. The takeaway is that there is little difference in the median wages. It should also be noted that, though, for high school diplomas only, that the median wage is much lower at $25,000 and some. And the median wage jumps significantly for those with master's degrees. So the comparison we're making here is those with some college education or some training at the 2-year level versus the 4. If you know you need a specialty that requires a master's degree, like an accountant, then you know that that's what's expected. And you can expect those wages that are commensurate with that particular occupation. Are there any questions about this? Okay. The largest employers in our North Central region, again, I'm going to say that's Elk-Cameron, McKean, Potter, Jefferson, Clearfield. Those are our areas. Now, I'm talking about these areas, but also it's important to realize that many of the trends that are dictated in our North Central region are also very similar to trends in other places. And I'll talk about that more in just a moment. But the employers in North Central that have the largest number of vacancies for jobs, both professional and entry level, are Penn Highlands Healthcare, UPMC, and this is a small list. There are probably about 100 or so employers, but I chose the ones that you might be most familiar with that also match the high priority occupations that we saw in an earlier slide. R.E. Garrison is a trucking company. Remember I said that truck drivers make a lot of money and there's a huge need for truck drivers right now. Guardian Healthcare, insurance and healthcare. Sheets is a huge company. You can't go anywhere 10 miles one way or the other without finding a Sheets. Lowe's. Bradford School District. One of the things that I was surprised, I guess also pleased to know, is that school teachers are making a comeback. For a while there, you heard, oh, don't be a teacher, there's no jobs. That's not the case anymore. Lots of teachers are retiring and there's going to be a need for teachers statewide. So if you like working with kids of all ages, especially the high school population, this might be a good opportunity for you. Miller Brothers Staffing is a temporary agency that does provide employment for different companies. Goodwill, Domino's Pizza. We couldn't just let this go without having a food and beverage company on this list. Dickinson Center, you might all be familiar with Dickinson being our premier mental health facility, provides comprehensive behavioral and mental health services for Elk-Cameron, McKean, Potter, and most of our service area. Advanced Auto Parts, so again, an automobile, advanced manufacturing position here, and the Dollar Tree. So any thoughts to this list, go ahead and put things in the chat. But of significance, when I was looking at this presentation and doing my research, the number one skill that every single employer had as a requirement for entry was soft skills, being able to communicate, showing up on time. That was the number one skill. The good news for all of you is that although it may be very anxiety producing, developing new skills or starting a job where you feel like you don't know anything, trust me, I'm still there myself. I just started this job 5 weeks ago. And every day I think, oh my God, I don't know this, I don't know that. But I also feel confident in my ability to communicate and ask the right questions and show up on time. That is so big and that is huge to your employer or to your college professors or to your training instructor. Showing up and showing interest is really the number one thing. My favorite piece of this presentation today is to talk a little bit with you about some of the myths about jobs in North Central PA, which we are referring to as our PA 6 counties. That would be the ones that I've been referring to throughout the presentation here: Elk-Cameron, McKean, Jefferson, Clearfield, Potter. I don't know what I missed. Did I miss any? See if you guys are paying attention. But we're referring to this as PA 6, which means that we need to highlight all the great things about what we do in this area, why it's great to live, work, and play in this area. So our workforce development board staff and others have put together a website to help not only showcase what we have to offer, but to hopefully bring people back to our area. That said, here are some myths, and you know you've heard this. High-paying jobs are more prevalent in cities and in urban areas. How many of you have heard that? You can make bigger money if you live in Miami or New York City or wherever, right? And the biggest one, there's nothing to do here. How many have heard that one? Absolutely. So I am going to take you through a little list of facts that will debunk several of these myths. First, starting salaries for all of those occupations that we've talked about on the second slide are slightly different for jobs of equal title and value. So when you're looking at a Philadelphia nurse versus a Bradford PA nurse, the starting salaries might be a little bit different. You might start in McKean County in Bradford at 50,000, whereas maybe you'll start at 65 in Philly, but the income levels are going to level out with experience. You will continually improve and get a raise every year, providing that you're doing good work. So at the end of the day, 10 years forward, fast forward, the nurse in McKean County is going to be much better off than the nurse in Philly, because that person is going to be able to increase their salary that much further, while the cost of living is still much more affordable. Not saying Philly's a bad place. I'm just trying to use as comparisons to an urban area and a rural area. We're considered rural, right? The cost of living in North Central PA is less expensive for housing, food, recreation when compared to urban settings. I was shocked. I went to see my daughter in New York City last year, and we went out for breakfast. Mind you, the word breakfast. It was $75 for 3 of us to have breakfast. And it was of no big consequence. I think I had an egg and a piece of toast. That I was shocked. I was completely shocked. So I guess it just drives home. And you probably know, it is going to cost more when you live in an urban setting, because there's more competition, right? For food, beverage, housing, everything is more expensive. So anyway, the point here, the takeaway is that it is easier to purchase a home and have a sustainable living in North Central Pennsylvania and other parts of Pennsylvania. Some pockets are expensive. State College is super expensive to live because of the college setting there. But if you have the time and you're willing to drive a half hour to your workplace, you can find a really nice home in North Central PA. One of the biggest exciting pieces that I discovered not too long ago is that access to I-80, we have about 6 different exits from North Central areas on I-80 that enable easy day trips. Not only, and a weekend trip is no big deal, to well-known tourist attractions, Hershey Park, Poconos, Lake Erie, Pittsburgh Zoo, Carnegie Museum, Gettysburg, and Philly. These are just to name a few. So the opportunities to take in culture and take in those things that we might not get on a day-to-day living in St. Mary's is quite accessible because of where we live on that I-80 corridor. We are home to rivers, state parks, lakes, and beaches that rival the ocean. Lake Erie is absolutely stunning. And if you've ever been to, I know Bald Eagle State Park is probably not the best choice of topic because it is in Center County, but there are other state parks that are absolutely stunning. Kinzua beaches are so pretty there. So there's lots of things that we can do locally that can feel like we are sitting at the ocean or feel like we are sitting in a major waterway. And in our area, whoops, let me go back a bit. We also have all the sports. We have high school sports, we have winter sports, we have summer sports, we have every sport under the sun, right? We have swimming, track and field. There is no sport that's left unturned in the North Central area. So if you are a winter sports ski buff, you can travel to Ellicottville pretty quickly, anywhere from North Central PA. If you are a summer swimmer, you can, travel to one of the local lakes or even Lake Erie, there's lots of opportunities. Bendigo State Park, there's lots of choices for you. And it's long been said prior to the last 5 years or so, there's no good places to eat. There's just not enough variety of opportunities for dining. Well, I'm going to debunk that too, because fine dining is coming It's here. It's here through places like the Straw Brewery and Tap Room in St. Mary's, in Kane, in Tablespoons in St. Mary's. We are doing and growing our restaurant tourism and hospitality, farm to table, all kinds of really good places that will rival many urban areas. Wineries are, popping up on every corner, along with distilleries, breweries, craft breweries, and shopping, unique kinds of shopping, small boutiques that are available for everyone in Ridgeway, St. Mary's. I mean, it scatters our 6-county region. So these are the reasons I say to you, even if you think that your time is now to do something different, you're right. Go and do something different. Learn, explore, learn about other people. But if you leave to learn, to grow, and to study, think about returning someday back to this place where you grew up, because it is absolutely beautiful and a wonderful place to live. So at this point, I'm going to stop sharing and let you ask me some questions. All right, I see in the chat. Oh, this is from the broadcaster accountant. Okay. All right, talk to me, folks, a little bit about some of your plans. What can I answer for you about the plans that you have after you graduate? So, Caden, can you start? Tell us a little bit about what you plan to do.
I plan on going to college and majoring in business marketing. And then I don't have a
Good.
specific occupation, but somewhere in the business field.
And that's fine. That's perfect. You don't want to have you wouldn't know yet, right? So much of your experience in your major is going to lead you into different tracks of having an internship or having experiences from your faculty and referrals from your faculty to give you that really fine-tuned experience. What college are you going to go to?
University of Pittsburgh at Bradford.
Good for you. Perfect. Awesome. And you're going to be in our service area.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. How about, is this, I don't know who this KDYN. You're like, no, don't call me. I'm sorry.
That's me. It's
Okay.
also Caden.
Okay.
I also plan on attending college for business marketing, but
Oh.
I plan on going to IUP.
IUP, very good.
Yeah,
Not
I
too
plan
far.
on, after I graduate, I plan on trying to pursue real estate.
Oh, good for you. That's adventurous. Do you know somebody in that field or?
Yeah, some people I'm related to are in that field, and one of my
Good.
friends' moms is in that field as well.
All right, wonderful. Very good. Mr. Gannon, how about you?
I plan on majoring in broadcast journalism.
Okay, you're my broadcast journalism. Tell me a little bit about that. How'd you decide that that was something you wanted to do?
Well, since when I was younger, I want to be on television or talk on television, various people on ESPN and stuff.
Very good. That's awesome. I don't know very many 12th graders that say they want to be broadcasters, so my hat is off to you. Very good. And Jefferson, are you with us? I see that you're muted.
We're not sure who Jefferson is. Is it somebody with you guys?
No, I don't know. Somebody named Jefferson just joined in the
I know, I
conference.
saw that. Well, they've been on.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think they dropped now, but we're not sure who that is.
Oh, you know what? That's actually the guest speaker for next,
For the next session.
the 2:30.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, that makes me feel better knowing that we didn't have a random person joining our conversation.
No Zoom bombing.
So, okay, good. So how many of you think you might be staying in this area after you get your degrees, or it's just not, you're not sure yet?
I'm not sure yet.
And you
I'm-
have some time to think about it.
I'm not
For
sure
sure.
either.
Good. Very good.
Thank
So
you.
Ms., go ahead, Kate.
I'm going to say thank you very much, Terry. If no one else has any comments or questions, or if you don't want to put anyone else on the spot.
Yeah, I think I appreciate, it's hard to talk when there's only a couple people on the call, and I didn't mean to put you on the spot. You looked like you were engaged along the way. So thank you for that. Mrs. Kopp, do you have any thoughts, comments, or feedback that you think is relevant and important for this group here today?
I do not. I think you covered everything quite well.
Okay, good. Well, it's been my pleasure to present with all of you today, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Kate.
Okay. Thank you, Terry, once again. Really appreciate you joining us and helping the Cameron County School District put on or participate in this virtual career fair. And thank you, students. I know everybody is just about zoomed out now after a year. We do appreciate seeing your faces and having you guys participate. And again, I'll just echo what Terry said at the very beginning. Congratulations on your graduation, and hats off to all of you, and good luck to your futures.
Lots of luck to you all.
Thank you.
Very much, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.